China fires experimental railgun at U.S. surveillance aircraft over South China Sea. Electromagnetic projectile misses by 200 meters. Pentagon retaliation shocks Beijing within hours. This is Navy Wire. December 4, 2025. 08:20 hours local time. US Navy P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft conducting routine surveillance mission. International airspace. 85 nautical miles southeast of Hainan Island. Altitude 22,000 feet. Standard electronic intelligence gathering. Monitoring Chinese naval activity. Mapping radar emissions. Completely legal operations. The P-8A crew includes 12 personnel. Pilot Lieutenant Commander Sarah Mitchell, Co-Pilot Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez, 10 mission specialists, sensor operators, electronic warfare technicians, intelligence analysts. They've flown this route dozens of times, never encountered hostile action. Chinese fighters sometimes intercept. Visual identification, professional interaction, nothing dangerous. Until today. At 08:27 hours, missile warning system activates. Loud alarm, flashing indicators, something incoming, fast, really fast. The crew reacts immediately. Evasive maneuvers, chaff deployment, electronic countermeasures. Training takes over, but this isn't missile. The trajectory is different. Ballistic, unpowered, coming from surface. The projectile passes 200 meters below the aircraft. Hypersonic speed, Mach 7+, creates shockwave. The P-8A shudders violently. Windows flex. Equipment rattles. Then it's gone. Vanished. The projectile continues on ballistic arc. Splashes into ocean 40 miles beyond. Mitchell keys the radio. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Navy Alpha Kilo 742 under attack. Projectile launch detected. Source Hainan Island. We're taking evasive action. 7th Fleet Command receives the transmission. Alert goes to highest levels immediately. Admiral Stephen Kohler commanding 7th Fleet. He demands confirmation. Was this actually attack or sensor malfunction? The P-8A's mission systems recorded everything. Trajectory data, radar signatures, electronic warfare logs. The evidence is indisputable. China fired something at U.S. aircraft in international airspace. What's your immediate response to hostile fire on surveillance aircraft? Type A for defensive posture. Type B for immediate retaliation. Type L for diplomatic protest. The P-8A crew continues analyzing data while maneuvering away from Chinese coast. The sensor operators review recordings. The projectile came from Yulin Naval Base on Hainan Island. Launch detected by aircraft's electronic support measures. The signature doesn't match any known Chinese missile system. Different electromagnetic profile. Different trajectory characteristics. This was something new. Intelligence analysts reach conclusion quickly. Electromagnetic railgun. China's been developing these weapons for years. Rumors, satellite imagery of test facilities, but no confirmed operational deployment. Until now. Until they fired at American aircraft without warning, without provocation, in what constitutes an act of aggression that could be interpreted as attempted murder of U.S. military personnel. Stay with me. The Pentagon's response happens faster than China expected. Within 2 hours, emergency meeting convenes in the Pentagon. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin presiding. Chairman of Joint Chiefs General Charles Brown. Director of National Intelligence. National Security Advisor. The President joins by secure video link. Topic: appropriate response to Chinese attack on U.S. aircraft. The intelligence briefing covers railgun technology. Electromagnetic launchers accelerate projectiles using magnetic fields. No chemical propellant. No rocket motor. Pure kinetic energy. Projectiles reach Mach 7 to 10. Range exceeds 100 nautical miles. The technology has been theoretical for decades. U.S. Navy tested railguns on destroyers. China apparently made theirs operational first. The implications are serious. Railguns represent potential game changer. Projectiles too fast for current missile defenses. No warning time. No infrared signature from rocket motor. Cheaper than missiles. Each shot costs approximately $25,000 versus $2 million for advanced anti-aircraft missile. China could fire hundreds of rounds. Saturate defenses through volume of fire. But there's weakness. Railguns require enormous electrical power, megawatts, only possible on ships with advanced power generation or land-based facilities with grid access. The Yulin Naval Base has both. Nuclear power plant nearby, dedicated power infrastructure, perfect location for experimental railgun installation. The President makes decision. Respond proportionally but decisively. Demonstrate that attacks on U.S. aircraft will not be tolerated, but avoid escalation to full conflict. The response must send clear message, show capability, establish consequences, deter future aggression. The military option selected: precision strike on the railgun facility, destroy the weapon that fired on American aircraft, use standoff weapons, no aircraft entering Chinese airspace, no ground troops, surgical strike, in and out, message delivered through explosive ordnance rather than diplomatic channels. Planning begins immediately. USS Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group operating 450 nautical miles southeast of Hainan. She carries FA-18E-F Super Hornets, EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft, F-35C Lightning II stealth fighters, all capable of launching precision standoff weapons without exposing pilots to Chinese air defenses. Commander James Peterson leads the strike package planning. He's Air Wing Commander on the Vinson, 20 years naval aviation, combat veteran, multiple deployments. He selects weapons carefully. AGM-158 JASSM-ER cruise missiles, extended range version, 575-mile range, stealth characteristics, GPS and infrared terminal guidance, perfect for this mission. The target package includes the railgun itself, support buildings, power infrastructure, control facilities. Intelligence analysts identify specific aim points using satellite imagery, updated within last 12 hours. Real-time targeting data. The strike must be precise, minimize collateral damage, hit only military targets, avoid civilian casualties that would complicate diplomatic situation. December 4th, 1830 hours, less than 10 hours after Chinese attack. The Carl Vinson launches strike package, 4 FA-18E Super Hornets, each carrying 2 JASSM-ER missiles, 8 weapons total, plus 2 EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare support, 2 F-35C fighters providing escort and suppression of enemy air defenses. The formation departs the carrier, heads northwest, toward Hainan Island, but they won't get close. Launch point is 400 nautical miles offshore, well outside Chinese air defense range. The JASSM-ER missiles will fly themselves to target. Autonomous weapons, fire and forget. The pilots launch and return safely without exposure to enemy defenses. Navy Wire has covered precision strike operations before, but attacking Chinese mainland represents unprecedented escalation, where elite naval power meets great power competition. The weapons, the risks, the strategic implications. At 2015 hours, the Super Hornets reach launch point, international airspace, 400 miles from Chinese coast. Commander Peterson gives the order. All aircraft, you are cleared hot. Launch when ready. The pilots execute immediately. Weapon release. 8 JASSM-ER missiles drop from wing pylons. Their turbofan engines ignite. The missiles accelerate. Head toward targets. The missiles fly low, 50-100 feet above water. Terrain following profile. Stealth shaping makes radar detection difficult. The Chinese coastal defense radars might not see them until very late. Maybe too late. Each missile carries 1,000-pound WDU-42B penetrator warhead, designed to destroy hardened targets, perfect for concrete railgun facilities. The flight time is approximately 75 minutes. The missiles navigate using GPS. Inertial guidance. As they approach land, infrared seekers activate. Lock onto specific buildings. The targeting is precise. Each missile assigned to specific structure. No duplication. Maximum effectiveness. At 2130 hours, the first missile hits. The railgun installation itself. Massive structure housing the electromagnetic launcher. The JASSM-ER penetrates before detonating. Internal explosion. The building erupts. Fireball visible for miles. Secondary explosions as power systems overload. The railgun destroyed completely. Twisted metal. Concrete rubble. complete loss. The next 7 missiles hit within 90 seconds. Power substation destroyed, control building demolished, maintenance facility leveled, storage structures collapsed. The entire railgun complex reduced to burning wreckage. The Chinese weapon that fired on American aircraft no longer exists, with damage estimates exceeding $800 million and complete operational capability lost. If you believe precision strikes deter aggression, type Navy Wire in the comments. Chinese air defense forces detect the missiles too late. They launch interceptors, HQ-9 surface-to-air missiles. But the JASSM-ERs are already on target, already impacting. The SAMs hit empty air. The damage is done. The American missiles destroyed their targets and departed. Mission complete. 0 losses. The Vinson strike package returns to carrier. All aircraft recovered safely. 0 casualties. Perfect execution. Commander Peterson briefs Admiral Kohler via secure video. Strike successful. All targets destroyed. All aircraft and personnel accounted for. No enemy contact. The mission achieved everything intended. Destroyed the threatening weapon. Demonstrated American capability. Sent unmistakable message. China's reaction comes quickly. State media reports unprovoked American aggression. Claims the railgun test was defensive system. Says U.S. aircraft violated Chinese airspace. Complete fabrication. The P-8A was in international airspace. Flight data proves it. Radar tracks confirm it. China is lying. Standard procedure when caught in aggressive action. But Beijing's private reaction is different. Emergency meetings, Politburo sessions, military leadership summoned. They didn't expect American response this fast, this decisive, this effective. The railgun represented years of development, hundreds of millions in investment. Now destroyed, in less than 12 hours after they fired it. That's overwhelming American capability demonstration. The diplomatic channels activate. China's foreign ministry summons U.S. ambassador, lodges protest, demands explanation. Ambassador responds calmly, shows evidence, P-8A flight data, radar tracks, electronic warfare logs, proves Chinese railgun fired first, proves American aircraft was in international airspace, proves U.S. response was proportional self-defense under international law. The ambassador delivers message directly. The United States will not tolerate attacks on its aircraft conducting legal operations in international airspace. Any future aggression will be met with immediate and decisive response. The railgun facility destruction demonstrates our capability and resolve. We strongly recommend avoiding further provocations that would require additional defensive actions. What would you have done if commanding the strike package? Comment your weapon selection below. The strategic implications ripple across Asia-Pacific. Allies watch carefully. Japan, South Korea, Australia, Philippines. They see American willingness to respond decisively to Chinese aggression. This strengthens alliance confidence, shows U.S. commitment to regional security, demonstrates that American military power backs diplomatic positions. China faces difficult calculations. Their railgun is gone. Their technology demonstration backfired completely. Instead of intimidating American forces, they provoked devastating response. Now they must decide. Escalate further or back down? Neither option is appealing. Escalation risks conflict they might lose. Backing down shows weakness domestically. Beijing chooses hybrid approach. Public defiance, private de-escalation. State media continues propaganda. But military forces stand down. No retaliatory strikes. No further provocations. The railgun incident ends. For now, the status quo returns. But everyone knows the balance shifted. American forces demonstrated they will respond to aggression with immediate kinetic action. The Pentagon conducts after-action review. Lessons learned. Response time from incident to strike. 10 hours. Exceptional coordination, intelligence, planning, execution. All services working together. Navy providing carriers. Air Force contributing intelligence. Joint operations at highest level. This is how modern warfare works. Integrated, coordinated, overwhelming. The technology assessment focuses on railguns. China demonstrated operational capability. That's significant. But they also revealed vulnerability. Railgun facilities are fixed targets. Large, expensive, difficult to defend, easy to destroy with precision standoff weapons. The cost-exchange ratio favors cruise missiles over railguns when facilities are stationary. Navy wire analysis suggests railguns have limited operational utility in current form, great for shore bombardment, naval gunfire support. But attacking aircraft? Difficult. The projectile has no guidance. Ballistic trajectory only. Hitting maneuvering aircraft at 22,000 feet requires perfect calculation. The P-8A was lucky. 200-meter miss at Mach 7 closing speed is extremely close. Better guidance could have resulted in shoot-down. Future railgun development will likely focus on guided projectiles. Small fins, GPS receivers, terminal guidance. This makes projectiles more expensive, but dramatically increases hit probability. US Navy research already exploring these options. Semi-active laser guidance, course-correcting fuses. Technology exists. Implementation requires integration. The power requirements remain challenging. A single railgun shot draws megawatts, equivalent to small towns' electricity consumption. Ships need advanced power generation, integrated power systems. The new DDG-X destroyers will have this capability, but current Arleigh Burke-class ships don't. Retrofitting is possible but expensive. New construction makes more sense for platforms designed from the start to support directed energy weapons. Which future weapon system dominates naval warfare? Type A for railguns, Type B for lasers, Type C for hypersonic missiles. The diplomatic fallout continues for weeks. UN Security Council debates the incident. China proposes resolution condemning U.S. strikes. Russia supports. But Western nations oppose. The resolution fails. United States proposes counter-resolution condemning Chinese attack on surveillance aircraft. This also fails. Both sides veto each other. Standard Security Council gridlock. But the court of international opinion leans American. Most nations recognize the facts. Chinese railgun fired first. U.S. aircraft was in international airspace. American response was proportional. Self-defense is legal under international law. China's claims of innocence lack credibility given the evidence and timeline of events. The incident affects Chinese military planning. They accelerate railgun development, try to develop mobile systems, ship-based platforms, reduce vulnerability to counterstrikes. But this takes time, years. Current railgun program is set back significantly. The Yulin facility was primary test installation. Losing it slows development, delays deployment, costs billions. The U.S. Navy benefits from intelligence gained. The P-8A's sensors recorded extensive data about the railgun. Electromagnetic signature, projectile characteristics, launch sequence. This information feeds into defensive systems development. How to detect railgun launches, how to defeat railgun projectiles. Countermeasure research accelerates based on real-world data from actual hostile fire incident. Superior technology, decisive response, Navy wire. The crew of the P-8A receives recognition. Navy Achievement Medals for professional performance under attack. Lieutenant Commander Mitchell gets a Distinguished Flying Cross. She maintained aircraft control, executed evasive maneuvers, gathered critical intelligence while under fire. Her actions potentially saved lives. Definitely saved the aircraft. The award is well-deserved. The Vinson Strike Package personnel receive similar honors. Commander Peterson gets Navy Commendation Medal. The pilots receive Air Medals, Mission Success, Professional Excellence, Perfect Execution. These awards recognize skill, courage, dedication. The people who execute America's military responses deserve recognition for their service. 3 months after the incident, satellite imagery shows Yulin Naval Base rebuilding. New construction, different design, hardened facilities, better protection. China learned lessons too. They're making their installations more survivable, distributing systems, adding defenses. The railgun program continues. They're not giving up, just adapting. This is the nature of military competition. Action, reaction, counter-reaction. China develops Railgun, fires at U.S. aircraft. America destroys the facility. China rebuilds with improvements. The cycle continues, each side adapting, each side improving. This is great power competition in 21st century with technological advantages measured in months rather than decades. The P-8A continues surveillance missions. Same routes, same altitude, international airspace. The aircraft's mission never changed. China's attack didn't deter operations, didn't restrict American activities. If anything, surveillance increased. More flights, more coverage, more intelligence gathering. The message is clear. Attacks on U.S. aircraft strengthen American resolve rather than weakening it. Chinese fighters still intercept occasionally. Visual identification, professional interaction, but no hostile actions, no weapons fired, no targeting radars locked on. The Railgun incident taught Beijing a lesson. Attacking American aircraft brings swift retaliation, proportional response, destruction of offensive systems, not worth the risk given the consequences. The broader strategic situation in South China Sea remains tense. China continues building artificial islands, deploying weapons, claiming territorial waters. U.S. Navy continues freedom of navigation operations. Overflight missions, demonstrating international law applies, neither side backing down, but both sides avoiding direct conflict after the Railgun incident proved the costs of miscalculation. Navy Wire tracks these operations continuously, the daily reality of great power competition, not peace, not war, something in between, gray zone operations, where military forces interact without shooting. Usually, the Railgun incident was exception, rare escalation to kinetic action. Reminder that tensions can explode into violence quickly when decision-makers choose aggression over restraint. The quiz answer: China fired experimental electromagnetic railgun at US Navy P-8A Poseidon in international airspace. Mach 7 projectile missed by 200 meters. Pentagon responded within 10 hours with precision strike. USS Carl Vinson strike package launched 8 AGM-158 JASSM-ER cruise missiles. Destroyed railgun facility completely. All targets eliminated. 0 U.S. casualties. China protested but did not retaliate. Incident demonstrated American capability for rapid, decisive response to aggression against surveillance aircraft conducting legal operations. 3 questions for you. Should railgun attacks be considered acts of war? How should democracies respond to authoritarian aggression in gray zones? What happens when China deploys mobile railgun systems that can't be easily targeted? Subscribe to Navy Wire, where elite naval operations meet strategic competition. We cover the weapons, the tactics, the decisions, the implications of military force in international relations. Hit subscribe. Enable notifications. Next episode reveals classified electronic warfare capabilities that turn enemy systems against themselves. This is Navy Wire, superior technology.